Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel, Superman Crypto, and of course Pulsechain X. We're streaming to over 10,500 subscribers, and maybe one or two more YouTube channels soon. So hold on to your hats for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for future videos, and of course share the channel around. If you haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description for that. The Pulsechain X Discord, $5 a month, great value. It's a private Discord, of course, and if you want to get to our strategy club, multi-chain opportunities like TitanX, like Zen, like others, like that, like Dog, then get in on that one, folks. That's $35 a month, great value, and that's a private club in our Discord, so get in there on that one. Right, let's get into it. That's the admin for the day. Let's get in. We've got Lies Beneath in the house. Hello, how are you today? Very good, very good. It looks like I've changed the setups there for my banners. Let's have a quick look here. Let's go. Let's put it back to normal, shall we? Bam. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. What else? We've got the maxi strategy for Pulsechain. Hex, Pulsex, and incentive 100% for the win. And at the moment, man, you can accumulate tons of that stuff, right? There's always going to be a bottom in the market. Man, it is looking good for the pickup there. We've got Sandy Beach in the house there. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you, Sandy Beach. Now, it's Labor Day in the United States, and apparently Wookie doesn't know about that. So Wookie's on his own hilarious line of questioning, so you're probably best to ignore that, Sandy. We got Sandy Beach's health and fitness update. If you guys want to get your health and fitness up to speed, Sandy Beach puts out posts every single day, so you might as well enjoy your crypto, right? Stay fit to enjoy your crypto. Big shout out to Sandy. Let's see who else has jumped in here. We got Brian in the house there. Hey, Brian. What's up, folks? Always a pleasure to see Brian. Yeah, Brian is in the house. Even Hex Token thought so. Pretty awesome. Even Pulsechain and Superman Crypto said it too. How about that? Brian getting lots of love there as well in the chat there. Brian's one of our two community leaders. Big shout out to Brian. All right, who else has jumped in here? Wookie is here. We're going to put that one up. Wookie. Hey, Wookie, hope you're doing well. He's a capo in the Mafia Syndicate on Pulsechain and BNB. A big shout out to Wookie. And Brennan as well. New all-time low for RH coins, yeah, which means more, baby. You got to buy the bottom. You got to buy the low, right? That's when you buy it. That's when you make all your money, when you buy the low. So when it goes reversal, you make the mad gains. Obviously, we've got the court case in October. We're going to talk about that quickly. So we're going to get into the topics. We're going to do crypto. Then we're going to get into Pulsechain, and in crypto we're going to do meme coins and things like that. Dog token. Then we're going to get the Pulsechain. And then we're going to jump over to our third topic, which is going to be a TitanX. Our fourth topic for today is Zen. So there's 4 different ecosystems we're covering today. Something for everyone. Something for everyone. So I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, let's go for gold. Let us get in here. And here we are at the markets. It's green. Thank you very much. You know, I asked for green charts. And here we are. We've got a bit of a reversal going in Bitcoin during a Labor Day in the United States. Obviously, we'll have tomorrow will be the stock market opening up. But for Tuesday, but here we are with the BTC, $59,238, 2.8% on the increase, 55% dominance. So Bitcoin still dominating, still Bitcoin season, so to speak. Ethereum there, $2,541, up 4.23%. Pretty nice happening there. Everything in green is pretty much up almost 5%, some of it 2%, but all of it underneath 5% on the increase. Solana up 4.6%, things like that. XRP up 3%, Tron down 1%. Now, ADA, of course, had the Chang Fork successful upgrade. A big shout out to Hodgkinson out there. Charles Hodgkinson up 1%, though. Not a big move on ADA, even with that. So, you know, just still not getting the love that Charles would want it to get. Litecoin up 2.5%. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. A nice little turn here on Bitcoin. Be good to get Bitcoin to get over 60K again. That would be very nice. So let's go look at the zoom in on Bitcoin. This is the daily chart. The hourly chart. You can sort of see that we're just keep capitulating here. Got all the way down to something like 57,000. That was the support line, if you guys remember. And we've managed to rally back up close to 59,400. Currently 59,100. That's on the hourly. Let's go to the daily and zoom out and have a look at the macro picture. Let's have a look there. Bam. So that's the daily there. And we're definitely sweeping down. Now, you guys know we're in September, right? September is one of the 2 worst months for crypto. So fingers crossed. We're expecting to be volatile, but fingers crossed through there. See this red line here? I've got this red line. That is typically the negative month in September. Not always. I think there's been 3 months that have been positive since Bitcoin launched in 2009. Yeah, this is kind of where we are. Now, it may very well surprise us to the upside. We've got the interest rate pivot on the 18th of September. We're expecting a 25 basis point rate cut there, so that should be good. And maybe we can have an earlier run there. But of course, October is different, right? That's one of the best months, and that could potentially be when we start taking off big time in crypto. So keep a lookout for that. Now, we have not had a death cross yet in Bitcoin. The 50-day in yellow line there is above the 200-day blue line. Fingers crossed we can avoid it. Nevertheless, if we do get there, it's going to be very brief and then out the other side. So October, still picking October for the beginning of that big move, hopefully to 100K Bitcoin by the Christmas. If everything lines up, we're going to have interest rate pivots. We've got to absorb that. Typically, stock market goes down, so still volatile. But hopefully October, or Uptober, as they say, really starts to kick off. Maybe we get a little surprise at the end of September with the interest rate pivots, possibly. Then the US election on the 5th of November. Trump victory would be beautiful, not only for world freedom, peace, and world peace, but also for crypto, pump our bags. Pro crypto, of course, can get rid of Gary Gensler and maybe drop some of the court cases like the Richard Hart one, right? The frivolous cases. And that's kind of the play. Then we're going to have potentially 2 more interest rate cuts in November and December. That could be 75 basis to 1.25 percentage points. So that'd be pretty cool. It might take us down from 5.5 in the federal funds rate down to 4.75 or even 4.25 by the end of the year. Wouldn't that be great? That's going to spur on cheaper money, let's say, and hopefully get things moving on the stock market there. So yeah, still picking October for the beginning of that big rally, maybe 100K by the end of the year, and maybe into next year. Maybe we'll get that 150 to 180K next year, and maybe even Richard Hart's 240. Who knows? But so far, that's 100K is kind of where we're leading there. Could be pretty cool. And moving to Ethereum, and let's go to Ethereum quickly. Ethereum there, pretty similar chart, moving back up there, got all the way down to $2,400 on the hourly, and it has managed to rally up all the way up to 2,564, currently 2,536, so not too bad there on the old hourly charts. Looking at the daily, we did have a blip in the gas prices on Ethereum last night, went to 14 Gwei, back down now to 1 Gwei, so there we go, that's just the way it goes. And back because it's Labor Day in the United States, probably going to stay pretty low there as well. We might talk a bit about the implications of that when we get to Zen, because that'd be pretty interesting. We're going to talk about Zen blocks today. All right, so let's get into this. We've got, where we're going here, Ethereum. This is on the daily. So we did have a death cross, remember, back here on about the 13th of August. And of course, that has played out, unlike Bitcoin. And hopefully we can get that being short and reversed by the time we get out the end of September, right? And we've got all the same things with interest rates and the US elections. And if all that goes well, the interest rates obviously could go pretty well. But if we get that US election victory, that'd be fantastic. So that's pretty much on Ethereum, 2,536 at the moment. Magic Carp Ride money, of course, that 170,000 ETH is out of the money. It was about 3,700, so it's about $1,200, just under $1,200, I would say, out of the money on every ETH. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for that reversal as well. That's going to take us to Bitcoin runes. So let's go to Bitcoin runes. Obviously, for the first season ever, we're going to have meme coin season on Bitcoin. So if we start heading towards 100K, these runes are likely to absolutely go through the roof. It's going to be pretty critical. That dog, the number 1 there, dog over the moon, is super successful. So one we're picking for the win. May even outdo Dodge during this bull market. Yeah, keep a lookout for that. But the holder numbers have really just gone up quite nicely. So we're sitting at 4.8 sats. Looks like we bottomed out during the day at 4.2, and we were sitting around 4.5 sats. So beautiful entry for the old dog on the daily. Looking at the all-time, this is the all-time in terms of sats. We're currently just having a little bit of bounce there, right? A little bounce from 4.49, which would be a great pickup. Now we're expecting a big hyper rally in this at some stage. Typically, you will see this little pre-rally. We got up to 13.1 sats, which is almost 1 cent, 98/100th of a penny. Come all the way down, and now we're in this accumulation zone where we're getting a lot of holders accumulating, and we're probably going to get that hyper parabolic at some stage, maybe towards October into the end of the year, and mad gains could be made on the old dog. What we're seeing with the accumulation is we've just hit 85,000 holders. Huge. So it keeps adding 1,000 holders every, I don't know, 3 or 4 days or something. Is pretty crazy. And yeah, 85,000 holders at the moment. And of course, only 100 billion supply. So going to be fun to see this play out, right? Fun to see this play out. Currently 35 pending buys. So this is ticking away pretty nicely on the Magic Eden, the number 1 DEX for runes. Now, the other one, of course, is centralized exchanges, Gate.io. That's ticking away with most of the volume. And of course, we're looking for tier 1 exchanges to come, right? This is the only top meme coin doesn't have all the tier 1s, and once it gets the tier 1s, man, this thing is going to moon. It's definitely going to the moon. In fact, physically, they are going to try and be going to the moon on a SpaceX rocket. So stay tuned for that. It could be pretty badass. So that is Dog Go to the Moon on runes, top of runes. Now, obviously, the rest of the runes probably need to pick up as well. We've got quite a few leaders in there. Ryzik up 13%. Rooney up 33%. So there is some nice little movements going on over there at the moment. Lobo, one of my other favorite ones, sitting at number 9, is down a little bit. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Now, moving further down the list on runes, we've got the Donald Trump. Now, this is up 5% to that, 2.3 sats. Its only market cap is 1.36 million. This might be a little pickup for the U.S. election, right? So let's have a look at the all-time on the Donald Trump. And we know a lot of these will probably pick up during the U.S. election, including the Trump token on Ethereum, right? So some of these you're going to look out for. Solana, of course, all the sort of meme VC chains. So this is kind of where we are looking at the moment. So you sort of had a real big peak out, got up to 24.7 sats, can you believe it? And is down at 2.3 at the moment. So it could be a really nice accumulation heading into the election on the runes, especially if Dog does well. This is likely to get re-rated as well. Speculative, but you're playing on that theme. And of course, you probably want to sell it on a run, right? So if it goes at a run before the election, probably best to sell it is my guess. But once again, do your own due diligence. Not a lot of buyers at the moment. But 3,450 holders at the moment. So just a bit of a speculative play there. Let's jump over to all the memes, coins on all the chains here on Coin Market Cap. And we can see at the moment, Dogecoin, 14.4 billion, down 6.4% for the week, but almost up 4% for the day. So things are turning today with the Bitcoin moving back up. Let's have a look at some of these others. Pepe is down 11%. As we scroll down here, Floki down 18% for the week, but they're all cut up about 4-5% or so. You can see that Dog with hats up 10% at the moment, so it's actually doing one of the better ones in the top meme coins. Popcat on Solana is down 15% for the week, but up 12% for the day. Let's see some other ones here. And of course, we've got Dog Go to the Moon. So that's where Dog is sitting at the moment. So where is that listed? Well, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sitting at number 14 is Dog on Bitcoin, the number 1 meme coin on Bitcoin on the Runes protocol, and first meme season for Bitcoin. So that's the one we're picking for the win. A market cap 274 million. So lots of upside if it's going to take out Dogecoin, and maybe it could do something insane, go to 30 billion, 40 billion, 50 billion. There's a lot of attention on the old Dog, and the Dog army is pretty fierce out there. All right, so that's kind of where we are on the meme coins. Looking at market cap of crypto all over, it's 2.07 trillion, up 1.23%, right? That's where we are at the moment. We're going to have a quick look at AI just briefly, the AI sector, and we can see that NEAR token is at the top there, 4.4 billion, down 17% for the week, but up 4%. So we're getting a bit of a turn now, aren't we? Internet computer, number 2, artificial intelligence or FET token there at 3 billion. It is down 8%, but up 9% today. So it's a little bit of movement happening there, but everything pretty much down across the board on the AI coins. That is it. So I thought we'd have a little sneak at that. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain, our second topic of the day. So we're going to get into that, day 479. Before we do that, though, let us see where else has jumped in the chat here. So that was general crypto session. I need to have a little tab up here that has the little sections. Probably a good idea. We got Clintron's in the house there. G'day, folks. Hey, Clintron. Hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure. Get in the chat there, folks. Get lively because, man, crypto's exciting, man. And we like to be an exciting channel. We like to just talk about alpha and info and just get into it, right? No drama channel. That's what we try to do. You can get plenty of drama on X and some other YouTube channels. That's where it all lives. TitanX X system to save the day, says Brennan. Absolutely pumping right now. The future is looking mega pumpish. And I really do feel that TitanX is going to take over the Ethereum attention there. And we're going to talk about that when we get to it. It is kind of a no-brainer now, right? Brennan says, come on, pump timber. That's from Brennan. And let's see what else there. We've got SJ for the president. Says, who's SJ? SJ. Let me think. I'm trying to think of SJs. What else? We got Hex Force 1. Hello, everyone. Woohoo! Finally made it live. It's been a while since Hex Force 1. It has been a while, Hex Force 1. Great to see you, though, in the chat there. I've been changing the colors up a bit lately. I normally have a bright pink. Then I've moved to green for DragonX. And then I've moved to red here today. So there we go. We're changing the color schemes on the live streams. Archie in the house there, the Don of the syndicate of the Kusa in the house of the Illuminati, and yeah, also what we got there, the Hustlers. So a big shout out to Archie there. I'm doing very well with the Directorate Allegiance there, Alliance. That's probably that way. Allegiance. Yeah, he's crushing it out there. Big shout out to Archie. All right, so let's get into our second topic today, Pulsechain. And the next topic after this is going to be TitanX ecosystem on Ethereum. So let's have a look where we are. So we're at day 479 on Pulsechain since it launched. We've got Pulse here at quadruple 0328, down 1% at the moment, is at 33% of the mean sacrifice price. We got Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0163, down 2.4%, sitting at 16%. Can you believe it? Of the mean sacrifice price. Man, oh man, what a steal these prices are at the moment. Now we've got the buy and burn is at 965.8 billion Pulsex. That is the burn at the moment, and it's at 4.78% of the public supply. That's kind of where that's heading. The incentive token is at $1.49, down 3%. So 1% of that will be the Pulse price, but the ratio has dropped to continue to drop there. We're at 45,749. But as we'll look at the chart, this is still in the sideways range, but at the bottom of the range. So it's testing that bottom. It's still got a bit of room, but it's still going down there. Total amount of incentive tokens, 41 million INCs. Now, I believe that there was a big whale selling today. It's still got tons of INC. That's always the risk with any project is, with the whale class, they're positive, they're good and bad in the sense, if you think about it. And remember, AMM pools. There's one thing you should remember about AMM pools, and that is they're basically just a bucket of money, right? So, and they move up and down at a square. So, that's just, remember that. So, not all of them, of course, if you have V3, but that's kind of the idea. It's just a bucket of money. Think about it. So there we go. Hex there at the moment is sitting just below 4/10 of a penny. Unbelievable steal on Hex right now. Just a dream come true for accumulation. Down 2.36%. EHEX at 11/100 of a penny. The combined price of EHEX and PX, that's Hex on Pulsechain and Hex on Ethereum, is half a penny. We also saw recently Richard Hart did some changes to the website and removed something about the market has decided on EHEX. So does that open up EHEX again in terms of his point of view? Seems to be from my point of view. In any case, the markets decide, right? That's what all the cool thing about DeFi. And of course, both of them have a good, good tokenomics. That being said, the Pulsechain is still the magic upright chain. All right, so let's move on from that. We're going to have a quick look at, let's just quickly look at the gas prices. 131,000 beats, so 2/10 of a penny for a Pulsex swap. So still very cheap on Pulsechain. And let's go to the validators. 48,489 validators at the moment. 1.55 trillion off the market in terms of Pulse staking. The bridge at the moment is up from yesterday. Yay! It's up about 600,000. So we're sitting at $90 million on the bridge on Pulsechain. Obviously, we want to get back to that 100 million mark, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we're about to start today 480, right? So let's get into the charts, have a bit of a deep dive. Not on that one. Let's go to this one. So here we are on the daily on Pulse. You can see basically we're at the bottom. Yesterday we did bottom out at quadruple 03164. Basically, what can we say about this? All we can say is accumulation, right? That's pretty much it. The RSI is getting almost oversold down at 31. So there's a very good chance it will bounce from this area. So just take that into account. But it could drop just a tiny bit more testing. But it is definitely an accumulation zone there on the daily with the RSI. Moving to the weekly, just give us a bigger view. Weekly here, that is the weekly chart. Let's get rid of all the rest of it. And we've got the RSI at the moment on the weekly at 32. So a pretty good zone to accumulate. We've seen it down this level for quite some time. So it is a pretty good zone for getting tons of volume on Pulse at the moment. Now we know we've got the Richard Hart versus SEC on the 24th of October in New York. That's going to be pretty important. So we might lull along until we get there. We may actually have a little bit of a decrease or a little bit of rise. It's going to be hard to see where the market goes with that, but probably to the downside is definitely possible. But like little DCA zone at the moment. Once we get to October, though, things could be so buoyant that we actually start having a little bit of a rally into that meeting, which is definitely possible there. In any case, a pretty good price right now and possibly into the October meeting. We won't probably hear the answer to that for another 30, 60 days, maybe 90 days. So maybe December, January. From the judgment. So and hopefully we get full dismissal ultimately. That'd be great. and then of course US election there on the 5th. So that's kind of the roadmap there. Moving to Pulsex, we're going to talk about this quickly. RSI down pretty low at 31. We got the low yesterday of 15.51, and of course at the moment we did break that down. So let's go to the daily on this. Let's go to the weekly, sorry, and let's go full screen. And we can see that we broke that nice, beautiful yellow support line, unfortunately. And then, of course, we've been holding the horizontal. So the next level down was going to be 1400, right? The 1500, and we almost touched that yesterday. So let's see how we're holding it at the moment. So definitely that's the next zone, 14 to 15. The RSI is slightly better on Pulsex, is at 37 there. So it could go down a bit further if Pulse keeps dragging it. But other than that, it's still kind of holding up. Okay, still holding up relative higher lows, but it's teetering on that, isn't it? So fingers crossed. I mean, the all-time low for Pulsex was 508868. Can you believe it? We've got 401600 at the moment. So that's where we have come up from so far. INC, yeah, this is the range in terms of INC to Pulse. And you can see we're actually coming down to test what I kind of see as the support line there. It's a little bit muddled, but we've got a couple of little supports line there. I've got it 44,500, and we're currently at 45,700. Yesterday we did get down to 44,927 on the ratio there, Pulse to incentive, but we're still at the bottom of that. So still holding up relatively, but definitely coming down to test that. If we break that, probably break it down. That being said, RSI has got down to almost the oversold, so maybe we'll just bounce from that bottom there. Seems more likely, right? That's kind of the play. Unless some of those whales keep selling, unless those whales wick us down, they could take us down. The whales that's selling at the moment. Let's go to the Hex at the moment. Hex, of course, not much to say about this. This is on the daily. RSI also down pretty low, down to 30 there. Remember, over 30 is oversold, right? If we get down there, it seems to have bounced off this range quite a few times, a couple of times there. So fingers crossed that was the worst of it. Yesterday we got down to 37/100th of a penny. Can you believe it? Mind-boggling. What a steal in terms of picking up Hex at the moment. You pick up 1 million Hex for nothing, just about. So think about that. That's pretty cool. All right, so that is Hex there. Let's go to the weekly on the old Hex on Pulsechain and quickly look at that. So the RSI is down at 35. So it's lower than Pulsex, but better than Pulse. Yeah, that's the price at the moment. So just a mad steal to pick up Hex right now at the moment. EHEX, not much to say about this. The same thing, sitting at just under 11/100th of a penny, and just pretty much a pick up there. Remember, the back Inks wall is up at 7/10ths of a penny, way up here, so it can take a bit of a rally to get to that. Finally, let's get to the Hex daily stats. Day 35, we got them out. No, we haven't got today's results out. They'll probably be out in another half an hour, but we do have the other day's results. So we had 5.3, 7.3, 7.3. That's been going pretty well on the old Hex on Ethereum. In terms of T-share payouts, 7.1, 7.1 on Pulsechain last couple of days. So that's where we are there. So that's a wrap up of our Pulsechain. We're going to get to TitanX next. Topic number 3. Let's see who else has jumped in here. What else we got here? We got the conversation between Wookie and Sandy about babies. How about that? That's how good these moderators are in my Discord and my chats and my live streams in Discord, talking about babies there. It's a good thing that I'm talking about the crypto thing. I guess it balances out, right? Balances out. All right, let's get on to. I've got to actually switch out the screen here. We've got a different screen now. So let me pull that in, and let's put that down now. Bam, and let's pull up the new screen. So this is a little different. Haven't done this before. So let's a whole different relay of content coming up. This is topic number 3, TitanX ecosystem, absolutely crushing it out there. So let's pull this in, and let's talk about this. Yeah, woo! All right, so we're going to kick it off with talking about some of Jake Sharp's. He's the founder of TitanX, of course. It is taken Ethereum by storm, and when the market was down, TitanX ecosystem was pumping. And it's not going to hold back, right? So it's not just a blip in the radar. It's going to continue to pump and pump and pump. So very excited about this. Let's actually, I just realized I'm missing something off here. So let me just pull that up. Just one moment, caller, as we say. Just one moment, caller. Let's go. Let me pull that up. That's very important, I think. I'll talk about that. All right. Let's see here. All right, so let's go back to that. And where was I? Over here. Bam. There's so many screens here. All right, we're going to come back to that. But we got Jake Sharp. So he's been putting out in the last 24 hours some different posts. What we've seen with some of the leaders in the project teams and ecosystem like Jake and Eric is they've been doing lots of X posting and marketing that way and promotion. So it's been pretty exciting. Yesterday, 15 hours ago, both TitanX and DragonX got in the top 10 together on Ethereum on Deck Screener. That's a huge thing, right? So you can see that here on that. Got down to number 8 for TitanX, number 10 there for DragonX. This is huge. How many other protocols in the TitanX ecosystem will move into the top 10 and stay there for ages? That's going to be really fun to see. I think it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be fun to see that play out. That's how much dominance and how much value is going to be sucking into or entering into the TitanX ecosystem. Pretty cool. So he's had some other comments here. We're just going to scroll through some of them and just pick out some of the highlights here. Imagine a token that is not rigged against you, but rigged for you. Look into TitanX, 310 days of flawless operation, top 10 token on Ethereum blockchain, unique proof of burn as well. So, you know, it really is doing pretty well there as well. DragonX is a show of strength for the build on TitanX ethos and community. The TitanX community and builders are truly built different. DragonX is currently the head of the spear for the BOT protocol potential. So pretty exciting for that. Let's jump through some of that. Pretty sure something like this has never happened before, at least not for long than 6 hours. TitanX and build on TitanX is breaking world records in real time. Also, this is on ETH, so it's not some crappy ghost chain there. Having those in the top 10 ranking, and I think we might see more. Could potentially see Hyper and others in the top 10 as well on the Deck Screener for Ethereum. Pretty cool. Now, obviously, they had this big weekly build on TitanX with Mike Dean. Mike Dean's kind of the data guy in the TitanX, and of course they had a big thing there on there. And Jack Levin from Zen came into that. So we're going to talk about that when we get up to the Zen, which is our fourth topic for today. So stay tuned for that. One day over 10,000 people will be tuning in. I will not be surprised at that at all. It's going to get really huge. The TitanX ecosystem. You're still early, folks, in the system to get in on it. So. And we're going to talk about that. Day 280 happened a month ago, so it was a big giant wick. It was about 14.5 trillion TitanX coming out that day. Had the market a little spooked, but it just started rallying after that. So the market just absorbed that and moved on. Kind of cool. So kind of good stuff coming out there from Jake. We're just going to scroll through some of this. Let's have a look here. Let's scroll through all that. Lots of building on, obviously, second layer protocols being built on TitanX is really a big deal. So lots of posts around that from Jake. The stats, of course, he posted the stats for the ecosystem. We're going to look at that ourselves. So kind of cool. So really good stuff coming there. So just looking at there. Let's scroll through some of that and keep going. So lots of build on. So he's encouraging a lot of developers, of course, to build on top of TitanX. And that really ranks it up. So that's from Jake Sharp there as well. So if you want to follow Jake Sharp, the founder of TitanX, that is the balance there. Let's get into it. And that is the link there. So check out, follow Jake, get the latest and greatest. Wookie says this is a balanced show for sure. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Eric from DragonX. Over the last 24 hours, he's been absolutely gunning it on the old X post, really building up the audience to get more people to be able to discover DragonX. And of course, 19 hours ago, something really amazing happening, the great flippening, where the market cap of DragonX flipped the market cap of TitanX. Can you believe it? So we're up at 40. Actually went higher than this, but this is the snapshot at the time. Market cap was 41.8 million in this image, whereas TitanX was 39.9 million. Now, the way you want to think about DragonX is kind of like the big whale on TitanX, and it's also like a store of value or a T-shares or something like that. There's some analogies being used, whereas TitanX is kind of the medium of exchange, right? And of course, at the moment, it's still the inflation's come out of DragonX, and it's about to move into a very deflationary ecosystem with a number of protocols. The biggest one, of course, Hydra coming out. That's going to be coming out on that. And also TitanX itself is about to go deflationary, probably within a month is probably where we have most of the inflation out in TitanX, and that's going to become probably deflationary in October is my guess, based on the numbers. So things are really getting pretty incredible here. And with the deflation, with buy and burns, with the new protocols, it's going to be absolutely incredible to see how high this value goes. With more investors, it really is going to really take off and dominate. We've got 2 projects, like we say, in the top 10, but imagine having 3, 4, 5. I mean, it really, the numbers could really start to mount. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. Yeah, so pretty cool. Now, the other one here is obviously in Hex. Eric is in Hex and Pulsechain. So he's not just in the TitanX and DragonX. And of course, he's into Zen and other things. He's got, he's part, part of all that wider community. But he's been putting here. Remember when Hex kept going up and up and up? We had about 13 parabolic rises in the Hex until it got up to that like 50 cent plus mark. And Eric goes, I do. So Eric, remember, he got into Hex, I think it was about March or April 2020. So it was pretty early, around when the Hex Gold Whale was doing a Hex God mode candle. And he's posted this for DragonX, right? This is a little chart for DragonX. DragonX has obviously been rallying big time. Just in the last week or so, a couple of weeks, it's done like 30x. I think it's actually, if you take the technical bottom, it's like 100x or something huge like that. And then, of course, now it's getting up to the point where it's at 5 zeros, 6,700 in this chart. I think the price is just down below that at the moment after the big rally to 8,000. But look at this. He's got these other 10x potentials. Look at that. Just going up and up and up. Look at that. So he's got these other, it's almost 10x, not quite, but different 10x's that it could do, just like Hex did. I think I love that. And he's been pretty much on the money with that so far. So a big shout out there to Eric. DragonX is perfectly positioned, of course, to do well. So kind of cool. And I really love this. This is really cool. So in the early days of Hex, someone said being in great crypto is like hitting the lottery in slow motion. That's a really good answer about if you get into the right cryptos. Keep posting, liking, replying. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Really like that. Hitting the lottery in slow motion. DragonX there and TitanX. So kind of cool. All right, let's move up a bit further here. We've had lots of posts from him, of course, just building up the interest. Now, here's another one he did 16 hours ago. Understand that DragonX will have infrastructure built around it. So not only is it going to be the total supplies outright, it's about 5.4 trillion, but it's going to have Hydra burning Dragon, so the total supply is going to be dropping a lot. It's going to have farms where they're going to have incentives, like Titan farms that's coming up, and of course they're going to have lending as well. So probably the Ouroboros and other protocols, but there's probably at least 5 or 6 protocols out there that are going to get rid of DragonX and make it more valuable. So DragonX is still early, and you're still early, right? So that's kind of the play. Yeah, kind of cool. And then he boasts there, it bothers me that we aren't at least 500 million market cap. I love that. That's so cool. Let's keep going up here. Now, we did have some little view of Hydra. So Hydra is coming. That's going to be, it's made by Jake Sharp. They're currently doing audits, and we're expecting that to launch within the next probably 10 days to 2 weeks. So probably somewhere in that ballpark. So Hydra is coming. It's going to be a massive protocol. A lot of people already talking about going into this. You're going to need TitanX to go into this, not Ethereum. And of course, that's going to burn DragonX as well as Hydra. So yeah, it's going to be well sorted off. There's going to be no staking in Hydra, which is a bit different from Hyper, because it's kind of like Hyper, but without that staking as well. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to have the Vortex, of course, which is going to be pretty amazing. We can see that in Hyper kick in soon. So going to be fun. All right, so that's coming up. Let's just scroll up the top here. We're going to move past some of these comments. Let's see here. Let's keep scrolling. Let's see here. Launch phase. Yep, we've got some phases there. We're going to jump through some of these and keep going. So as you can see here, Eric is really out promoting Hydra and DragonX and just doing the hard work. I love this when founders do this sort of stuff. The other thing that we saw DragonX get up to like 8,000 last night, which was crazy good. But you had some large holders from medium to large slowly scaling out. So that distribution creates the price floors and don't defer sell pressure. So that's really cool to see that redistribution as the price goes up. You're going to have, from squids, dolphins, sharks and whales all slowly exit. And we've seen quite a few of those DCAing out, which is cool because it's going to redistribute it to all the new investors coming in, right? So that's kind of a cool thing there. So that is pretty much it on that from Eric. If you want to follow Eric, give him a follow. The founder of DragonX, and of course it's been crushing at the moment. So that is it there. Let's post that in as well. So some nice things happening at the moment there. So that is Eric from DragonX. Give him a follow there and leave a comment. Say that Superman Crypto sent you there. That's all we can say. All right, let's get into Mike Dean. Now, Mike Dean is kind of the data guy. Also does interviews of project teams as well on building on TitanX. Obviously doing the Twitter spaces as well. So kind of a key glue man, as it were, gluing everything together. Coming to TitanX Hub soon. He's got his data center at TitanX Hub. It says detailed token pages for every build on TitanX projects. It doesn't have really big detail there, so you don't want to miss that. Sneak peek at what's in store. Market cap. It's going to have burn stats, liquidity info, token age, and hold accounts. So some key data there for each protocol that's building onto TitanX. So remember, TitanX is the layer 1. It's the medium of exchange. Most of the other projects are layer 2s. They sit on top of TitanX. They use TitanX. And then on top of that, on top of those projects, you often have third layers, which are building on top of that, adding more value, more leverage, compounding, and things like that. So it's a pretty big deal, this sort of setup there. And of course, TitanX itself is leveraging on the Ethereum chain, right? A very valuable chain. So that's all makes sense there. So you can see some of the data there. It's got DragonX with all the key details there. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. So I'm going to repost that actually. And if you want to get follow Mike Dean for all that data, here is Mike Dean's post as well. So give him a follow and let him know that Superman Crypto sent you. And that's all we can say. So that is the link there for Mike Dean. All right, we're cluing you in into all this. If you're not familiar with it, if you are, then it's just some good old details there. Now let's get into the price charts. This is the price charts for the currently launched protocols on TitanX. There are going to be tens and tens of projects built on TitanX, but here we are at the moment. We've got at least eight ones here. At the moment, we have got the best performer on the 24-hour is a JKX. It's a meme coin. That's up 11.6% at the moment. Hyper is up 3.25% on 24-hour. So we just had a couple of days of huge rally, and now we're just getting that kind of consolidation and redistribution coming in after that before the next move. Helios at the moment up 2.9% and DragonX up at 2.3% at the moment. We've got Blaze is down 5%, Inferno is down 5.5%, and TitanX is down 5.7%, and Baby DragonX is down 34%. So, you know, these two sort of meme coins here, JKX and DragonX Baby, you're going to have that volatility, right? They go up and down because they're kind of meme coins, really. Whereas the rest of them are basically ROI protocols, right? So, return on investment protocols. So, and this is basically what TitanX ecosystem. It's like the holy grail of ROI protocols, right? Yeah, it's got pretty cool. It's got big buy and burns in it. It's sort of put those in the system, a bit like the Magic Cup right on Pulsechain, but it's built into the system. And then, of course, all the layer 2 protocols going on top, layer 3, etc. Is pretty exciting ecosystem. That's kind of a basic overview as well. Now, if you're new to TitanX ecosystem, don't know what it's all about, just get TitanX. That's pretty much it. So TitanX is the entry. That's the medium of exchange. That's kind of where you start. It's almost going to be going deflationary soon. So you probably got a week or two to get in before it really starts going crazy. And we're going to show you why that is. But here's on the daily at the moment, really doing very well. And you can see currently it's at 4,800 with 6 zeros in front of it, right? So, and it peaked out at 6,000 last night on last night's rally. So you can see the last 2 days have been really pumpy. And then, of course, we had a consolidation zone in here. We had a pump, consolidation, and a pump there, and a bit of a consolidation here at the moment. So we just come down. So good little entry to enter on that. Yeah, that's all we're going to say there on this one. Let's go to the weekly here on TitanX. And this is the main one, the medium exchange, as I say. You can see it's come off the bottom, right? So let's go full screen. It's come off the bottom. So the bottom down here was at 1,500 with 6 zeros. It's now at, close to 5,000 with 6 zeros. So nice little run. This is going to continue to rise. By the time we get to October, probably actually the second half of September, maybe October, then at the latest, we're going to have a deflation come into the system, right? It's going to be pretty crazy with more protocols and stuff like that. So certainly by the end of October for sure, it's going to be pretty insane. We're going to look at the inflation chart there as well. So that is TitanX at the moment. Let's quickly look at the supply of TitanX. Here we are on June.com. So this is Mike Dean's data sheet for TitanX. And we can see at the moment all the inflation that's coming out over the next 90 days. So this is 90 days. And you can see we're pretty much going to pan out. So if we look at the total supply chart, you can pretty much see there's nothing coming out in the future. By the time we get to the let's say you even get here, by the time we get to the 8th of November, there's basically nothing, right? Basically nothing left coming out at the moment. But I suggest to you that we'll probably start rallying by mid-September. That's probably where we'll start rallying because the market's going to front run this. They know that there's hardly any inflation coming out. There's all these protocols launching as well in September and October. So I think the market's going to probably move early on that one. So like I say, I think you probably got a week or two to get in at these current prices. So once again, do your own due diligence, not financial advice. But the charts are kind of inferring, bleeding that or screaming that out at the moment. So that's kind of the play at the moment on that. Now, what we're going to expect to see is a number of protocols, right? So we're going to expect to see Hydra coming out, built on DragonX. That's going to require TitanX, right? You need TitanX for that. So that's going to go probably come out within the next 2 weeks. So we're probably looking before the 13th, 14th here. So before this last big red candle or pink candle here, which is 3.6 trillion TitanX. And of course, this is a turning point right here. This right here, once this comes out, turning point, because really there's only this last little batch of trillion candles. And then basically we're going into deflation mode just about. So it's going to be pretty powerful. Now, obviously, it will depend on all the buyer burns and the supply sinks and the second layer protocols. But I think by the time we get here, it's pretty much game over. But I think the market's going to front run it before we even get there. So they're going to force everybody else that thinks it's going to happen here to pay higher prices. That would probably see what was going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. So we've got probably going to have Hydra here. It's going to be huge. I think it's going to be really popular. And of course, it's going to be great for DragonX, great for TitanX. And then we're going to have on the 19th, slash 20th, we're going to have the Vortex open. So that's our third buy and burn. We've got 2 buy and burns operating at the moment. We've got TitanX V2. We've also got the Hyper base buy and burn, which is burning at the moment. And then we're going to have the second Hyper burn operating as well. We'll have 3 buy and burns, which will be the Vortex one. And yeah, it's going to be game on. So we're going to be burning through a lot of new inflation coming out. And yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. In addition to that, we're going to have these protocols like Hydra. Then in the second half, we're probably going to have Vault coming out. We're going to talk about that today. So Vault's coming out. That's going to need TitanX as well. So that's in September. And then by the time we get to October, we're expecting X28. Now, there's no formal date on X28, but we're expecting X28 because of DragonX. Everything is pumping DragonX, including Hydra, and therefore DragonX is a super whale. And then we're going to get, obviously, if X28 came out in October, makes sense because people are going to be able to burn. It's going to be multi-chain. People are also going to be able to burn shares in TitanX, and therefore that would increase the payout for DragonX, right? And then DragonX is going to restake 44.5% of its payment, which is coming out on the 30th. So the 30th of October is here. It's about 58 days away from now. And so that's ticking out as well. That is a massive payout, about 6.2 to 6.5 million. We're going to check that in a minute. But they're getting about 2.3 plus. And by the time, depending on the ETH price, could be way higher. So DragonX is getting millions of dollars. And 44.5% of that's going to be used to restake by TitanX off the market and restake. So all this TitanX going to go and buy a lot of this stuff and restake. But I bet your bottom dollar that not only DragonX, but whoever else is in the retail staking, they're also going to go and stake a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of reinvestment, unlike what we saw back at the end of last year or the beginning of this year. In January, we will see, instead of people taking that money in January and things like that, we're going to see people reinvest. I bet your bottom dollar is going to happen. So it's going to be pretty cool. So we'll get even more capital going back into the system because people see how good it is at the moment and how it's really just going to go into hyper deflationary mode. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Now, obviously, we've got other projects as well going to be launching at different times before the end of the year. So there's a lot of bullishness coming for the old chain here. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right, so let's get into some of those protocols now. Looks like we're going to have Element 280 coming out. We're going to have Vault that's expected in the second half of September. Hydra in the first half of September there, probably just before the mid time. Could be as early as 10 days away. We will see. But Hydra is the big play there. Vault's going to be very supplementary in the second half of September. And we're going to talk about that today. And then, of course, Element 280 is going to be launching in October as well. And we'll find more details on Flux and others as well, which Flux might be launching soon too. So yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. Titanfire. Titan Farm's probably new in the new year's, my guess. Titan Farm's a bit later, and once the the liquidity and the value gets a bit bigger. But it's going to have huge incentives for people to go and do farming and thicken up the LP across multiple tokens. Titanfire is going to be pretty cool. We can't wait for that. Pulsar should be pretty good, and Orobra is going to be a very important protocol in the DeFi space. They're potentially stablecoin as well. So looking forward to Orobra as well coming out as well. So yeah, an X28/Shogun, and there's also Shadow Protocol, right? So we're looking for that too. So there's quite a few protocols not on this list, maybe 4 or 5 that are not on this list yet. So as they get added, we'll talk about those. Today, we're going to talk about the Vault, though, expected to launch in September. So that's kind of the play there. So supply, about to hit deflationary. More buy and burns with the Vortex coming out. The big payday, 369 payday on the 30th. The Dragon Whale is getting all support. So the DragonX is going to be burned with Hydra. And, of course, TitanX is going to be pumped in price with the old Vortex there. And, of course, potentially Flux as well. And then, of course, Game On, X28, the shares and the staking going to go down. So you can see all these mechanisms are putting a huge squeeze on the token value, and more investors are coming in. They're doing all the marketing on X, and more people are coming in. So you can see that squeeze, there's scarcity in the place being increased, deflation, and, of course, more people coming in to fight over the shrinking amount of tokens. See how this all going to play out. And it really does look like Jake Sharp has potentially created the utopia for DeFi tokenomics. So it's going to be pretty fun. And you guys, like I say, I think you've only got a week or 2 to get in before this thing goes absolutely insane. Now, we do know September's volatile, but we already see that TitanX, even when down markets, is performing like a boss. And, of course, with this deflation expectation, it could be the big beacon shining on the hill, right? So it's getting pretty exciting now. All right, the other thing, of course, it may, if the price of TitanX gets up high enough, it may very well get TitanX mining back. We know that hyper mining is back, right? So let's have a quick look at hyper mining. We had a look at this yesterday, but we're going to have a look again. Hyper mining, 189% yield at the moment, OMG. And the cool thing about hyper, which is, remember Hydra is going to launch, it's going to be like hyper, but it's going to have a few changes. It's going to have the stakings with the payouts, and it's not going to have, it's going to have what's the other thing? It's not going to have, I've forgotten. Not going to have staking, and it's not going to have something else. I just forgotten what it was. But we've got buy and burn at the moment. Yeah, so the buy and burn is going to be pretty awesome. We've got the Vortex here as well, 770. This is filling up. So we had 299 ETH yesterday. We've got 304 now in the Vortex. So that's going to be launching on the 19th. That's going to be the 3rd buy and burn. This is the 2nd buy and burn. The buy TitanX, it's got 270 ETH. That is actually heading up towards the Vortex value, which is crazy because the mining yield is pulling in a lot of new investment. 189. This thing is about to go through the roof. It is going to be absolutely insane. All right, so that's kind of cool. The stats, this is what I was trying to talk about. The stats here is under 1.2 trillion in liquid supply. So there's actually relatively scarce. There is obviously future miners coming out, but there's a big gap because Hyper wasn't running ROI profitable for a while, but it is back up and running at 180+%. And of course, this is still relatively scarce, scarcer than the 5.4 trillion for DragonX. So pretty awesome. Let's have a quick look at TitanX. Like I say, if we get these prices up, get into deflation by October, maybe even late September, we could have positive ROI mining on TitanX as well. Imagine that. Remember, TitanX is the medium of exchange. We're negative 59% at the moment, but just like Hyper was negative, it can go positive too. Imagine this being filled up with ETH. And what does that mean? It means that the buy and burn is going to start filling up again. Obviously, the buy and burn went under 1,000 on V2. This is the first burn. And of course, it's operating about 2 buy and burns at the moment, the Hyper one and this one. We're going to have 3, of course, with the Vortex from Hyper in only a couple of weeks' time. And here we are. This could start filling up again. So it's at 916 ETH, $2.3 million. The price of ETH is going back up. The ETH is starting to flow in. It could happen by late September and October. So keep a lookout for this. It's definitely something we're going to be keening on. Imagine ETH coming back into the medium of exchange, the TitanX. It's going to be badass. And then TitanX going into deflationary mode. It's insane, right? Can you get it? Get it? It's this thing is about to take off. Massive. So like I say, I think there's not long to go to get into it. You're going to have to try and get it before it goes through another parabolic rise as well. That's the TitanX there, looking pretty good. We won't go to DragonX, but obviously Hydra is going to benefit DragonX there. And some of these other protocols are doing really great. Helios, Inferno, these are all great teams. Blaze as well, all crushing it. But we're going to be looking at some of the future roadmap. So let's get in quickly into the performance of some of these other charts. Let's just go to DragonX at the moment. DragonX is up at 2.4%. It's currently at 6,475, up 5. But look at yesterday. Yesterday it got to 8,241. Unbelievable. Then we had some of the redistribution, some of the larger accounts. We've got some of them DCAing out. And so, yeah, I saw an account with 35 billion. It had sold down to 14 billion. So that large holder is just about out. I guess it's like a shark level, I guess, at that level. And then we had another one that I think had 115 billion. And that is pretty much, I think, just about out, if not out as well. So we have some larger accounts selling out, redistributing the coins to new investors, which is pretty exciting. So let's go have a quick look at the contract over here as well. We're up to 50 minutes on the hour. Can you believe it? This is crazy, crazy. All right, so let's have a look here. 2,141 holders at the moment. 2,141. So we're up 140 holders since we passed 2,000. Looking pretty good over there, isn't it? Let's go to dark mode. And yeah, 2,141 holders. So we are gaining holders there. So that's up a lot in the last 24 hours, 48 hours. So going pretty well. Imagine that being 10,000 holders on DragonX. Incredible, incredible. These are the top holders at the moment. You can see them all here. And of course, to get on page one, you need to have 19.8 billion DragonX. And of course, we've seen some of these accounts selling down as they do, and it gets redistributed. Well, you know, these whales and the large holders here keep even stronger. But a lot of them are big believers. So we're going to see how that plays out as time goes on. So yeah, incredible chart for DragonX, and taking a little bit of a cooler here today. And we're going to see where that heads. But like I say, Hydra's coming within probably 10 days is my guess. This thing could be absolutely insane and go for another parabolic, right? So this keeps going up, consolidating, going up, consolidating, going up, maybe a bit of consolidation, and then move up again. So fingers crossed, going to be pretty crazy on the old DragonX. Market caps ticking up there too, 35 million. This could go to 200 million, right? Next time, right? It went to 20 million, could go to 200 million next, could go to 1 billion, 2 billion after that. It's going to be fun to see this play out, right? Now, obviously, people can, if it does big rally, if you're a whale, you can sell it back into TitanX maybe. So you could do that. So if you're a big whale, maybe you got enough and you could get half a trillion TitanX, right? So that's one thing as well that could go on. Now, I was going to quickly look at the supply of TitanX. Let's go to look at that. We talked about just under 1.2 trillion on Hyper. We've got 5.4 trillion on DragonX. Well, we've currently got 55.5 trillion on TitanX at the moment. And of course, as you guys know, we've got the final part of the inflation coming out in September, really, and then a little bit in October and virtually nothing in November, right? So that's the play. Unless, of course, we could in the future, if mining goes positive, maybe by September, October, and we get a positive ROI, we'll see ETH coming back in here as well, not just Hyper, but in here. And of course, we'll have also have Hydra as well out and running. It's going to be crazy times, folks, crazy times. All right, so that's kind of the cool stuff happening there at the moment. Let's have a quick look at Hyper. Hyper is obviously moving up as well, 4.4%. And of course, the market cap there, 3.4 million. So the market cap on Hydra is actually particularly low, right? So let's go to Hydra and have a look at that. That is doing pretty well. Let's go to the alley. That's the alley, so the zigzagging. This is probably the one that's held back. There could be a lot of ratios up here. See, the ratio at the moment is about 5.1. So that's really, if you're looking at these ratios to TitanX, is what you should be looking at. Market cap, all these sort of metrics. The ratio though, 5.1. And of course, compared to DragonX, which I think was up at 14. Let's quickly go back into DragonX. Let's quickly check that. 13.27 at the moment. So that's the ratio. So yeah, it could be a lot of upside in Hyper, given the scarcity there, and we see it moving up at the moment, right? So let's go to that's the daily. We're really starting to see a bit of a breakup here, so we could see some really big moves on this one, and it's only got 3.4 million market cap, 5.5 ratio there on TitanX. So keep a lookout for that too. It's probably good to have a bit of a basket of all these things with that ratio moving up. But obviously, DragonX has got Hydra coming, so there's a lot of hype around that. And of course, DragonX is got all its inflation out. So just remember that too. But it's always good to pick up some of these leaders because you could get a relative X gain on that. So pretty cool. The other one, of course, we've got Blaze, Inferno, and Helios all doing pretty well. Helios up 3% at the moment, and we'll probably talk about Helios and some of those others in another live stream. So that coming up, maybe tomorrow we'll talk about that. A couple of those three there. Looking at the market caps at the moment, 37 million for TitanX. So TitanX taking back the lead there, flipped it back. 35 million for DragonX, 3.4 million for Hyper. Hyper just seems undervalued. You can decide yourself, but that definitely looks like an opportunity there. I would say that Inferno also looks like a big opportunity because some of the second layer protocols going to be helping with Inferno as well. 1.3 million, and then the Helios and Blaze are much lower there at the moment, underneath $1 million. So it could be nice relativity plays on those. All right. That said, DragonX got not only does it have Hydra coming with Jake, but also has Eric out there doing a great job leading that community, and leadership is a big deal on that one. So that is kind of that on that. Now we're going to get into Vault. Before we do that, let's get back in the chat there and see who else has jumped in here. We'll get some comments before I wrap up the old TitanX system. We're going to talk about Vault, one of the new projects coming probably second half of September after Hydra comes out on DragonX, as Vault will be for TitanX and multiple other tokens in its second phase. So we'll get into that. Let's see where we're up to here. We got up to priority 1. TitanX Legends token also about to drop. Yeah, that's going to be huge. So at the moment, the old TitanX Legends NFTs, they I think last sale was about 650 million TitanX, and that's gone up huge, right? Because I think they issued at what, 25 million, something like that. 28 million, was it 28 million? TitanX, they're now at like 650 million. So the TitanX NFT has gone up heaps, and of course they got their token about to drop. So yeah, good point there from priority 1. That's going to be pretty fun to see how that plays out too. And they've got some sort of deflationary thing with the NFT. I think you have to stake it and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun to see that play out. Still relatively small holdership. I think it's over 300. So it's going to be interesting how that grows as well, and also gets leverage off TitanX, right? They all benefit on top of TitanX there. The Mo Show in the verse just ended, and now we have Superman. The streams are endless. A priority 1. That's nice to see. Yeah, big shout out to the Mo and his dog, and verse, of course, out there crushing it as well. Brennan says, don't sleep on the hyper miners at the moment. Yeah, I really feel like there's some opportunity there right now, especially the relativities, and we can see that chart slowly etching up there. Regards from Heart Labs, Beatbot, and Hex Army team. Keep the God vibe there. Yeah, I was actually on Beatbot. Was it Beatbox NFT market? Yeah, I couldn't see a lot of stuff on there. Let me know. Hit me up in Discord about that. Where you guys are heading with your NFT market. We should probably. We were going to have a chat about that some time ago. So let me know. All right. Let's see where we're going up here. We're going to scroll down. Let's scroll down here. We've got some more comments. We got Dave Wilson House here. Thanks for another update. You're most welcome. Brendan says Hydra will not have any bonuses for mining, so long term will be the play. That's exactly right. So that's the key outtake there. They're not going to have staking and the payout stuff there, so it's going to be a long term play. Hydra will be pretty much burn off the market when it. TitanX X system will be huge. Yeah, like I say, I think a week or two. You got to get into it now. Probably now, pretty much to get accumulating, but probably got a week or two with that extra inflation coming out. But people aren't selling, and it's going to be burned off and move into second, third party protocols. It's going to become that hyper deflationary, not just deflationary, but hyper deflationary. And you can see October, if not late September, October, definitely looking like that could happen with all these protocols coming out, especially with X28 potentially, most likely in October from my point of view. Obviously, we're waiting for the official launch for X28 from Jake, with Hydra expected within the next 2 weeks, probably within 10 days' time, of my guess. TitanX community is strong. LFG says Hashwag, absolutely. Every day, Wookie is a special day for you. Is that right? Priority 1 says the Mo Show, the dev of the JKX meme coin was revealed. It was Rudy from Titan Legends, and it's 126x on TitanX. That's right. No one knew who did the coin. 88 year LP locked. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a couple other comments I can make on that, but I'll leave that for that. That's a good summary. All right, let's get back into TitanX. We're going to be looking at the Vaults, which is a new project coming up. And let's see here now. I think the Vault was recently on Mike Dean's show. Is that right? I think so. So we're going to scroll down here. One of the projects launching in September is Vaults. It's not on here at the moment, but we're going to go to look at that. So this is the docs. We're going to come back to that in a minute. We're going to go to the Vault link here. So Vault here, talking about Vault on TitanX Spaces today. So that was pretty cool on the TitanX Spaces. The Vault Wheel and the Vault Ambassador were announced. Take a couple of minutes to listen. Now, I was going to play this video, but it is a little bit on the long side. Yeah, it's definitely a good listen though. The Vault Wheel and the Vault Ambassador, take a couple minutes to listen to that. So we might actually come back to that, but we're going to actually scroll up there to see what else is going on here with the vaults. Yes, TitanX is just safe crypto. Absolutely. Let me just scroll up here. Yeah, let's go gadget. So this is from the Vault team. Vault roadmap. So here it is. So this is what I want to look at. Vault roadmap. Vault release shooting for the 21st or the 28th of September. Like I said, it's going to be the second half of September. We've got Hydra launching within the next 10 days, perhaps. Maybe within the next 2 weeks for sure. And then we've got the 21st to 28th of September for Vault coming out. Now, obviously, Hydra is going to be taking in TitanX. So will Vault. Vault will be taking in TitanX as well. The Vault Wheel is put into action from Vault Day 11. And Viper, which is built on DragonX Hydra, is out in October. So it's another project there coming out. And you could see that the Hydra there, sorry, the Viper there is not on the list here. So it's another one of these projects not on the list. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much coming down the pipeline for this team. So pretty cool. And Titan Game, which has a feature to stake Vault in November. So there we go. We've got September, October, November. So Vault in September, and Viper in October, and then the Titan Game out in November there. So all built on TitanX. So pretty exciting there from the dev here for Vault. So pretty cool. Maximize your ROI, not just investments. That's correct. That's what we're trying to do here. So let's keep going. I'm going to scroll back up here. The Vault Wheel. The Vault Wheel built on TitanX protocol will have 0 going into the Genesis. So it's all going back into the system. 100% will be buying and burning TitanX ecosystem tokens or just straight burning them. How about that? So we've got Hydra in the first half of September. We've got Vault coming out in the second half. It's going to be pretty insane. And potentially we've also got, I think, the Flux as well, if I remember rightly, maybe out then too in September. So we'll have to confirm that, but I think that was what I said yesterday. I just can't remember now. Just sort of skipped my mind. Let me know in the chat there if you guys remember what I said. So there. All right, so let's go back up here. A Vault built on TitanX is a hyper-deflationary token with a unique auction system. It features a cap supply with all tokens distributed in the first 10 days, triggering full deflation afterwards. Vault utilizes 84% of system value to buy tokens, splitting them between the burn address and the Vault for future auctions. So it's a pretty clever little mechanism for that. So it's kind of cool. Liking that. So 10 days, folks, to get all the inflation out. That's going to be pretty FOMO, I think. Pretty FOMO on that one. All right. So what else we got going? Let's scroll up here. Yeah, Vault. This is number 1. This is from Chiz here. Get in first 10-day auction, each to own ability and interest, then figure out how to leverage the Vault Wheel. Burn it all. He says, burn it all. Remember that. Let's jump in here. Yeah, they had he's been on Mo. The Vault's been on Mo, so you can check out Mo's channel and do the video there. Let's see. What is Vault is simple but profound. So we're going to actually look at that detail in the docs. So this is at 3 hours ago. This is pretty hot off the press. Phase 1, Vault token. Phase 2, the Vault Wheel. Phase 3, Viper. We know that's in October. And Phase 4, Titan Game. So that is all the stuff coming from the Vault team there as well. So I'm going to repost that as well. Let's keep scrolling up here. That is pretty much it from the Vault. So if you want to find out more details on the Vault, give them a follow and leave some questions there. That is going to be pretty awesome. So go for gold on that. The Vault, yeah, boy. All right, so that's looking promising, right? Looking promising. And of course, we're going to play. Actually, I will play a little video, but let's go through. The docs first. So we're going to quickly go through the docs now. Obviously, there's going to be 10-day auctions, and pretty much 84% of the TitanX value that's going into those auctions to buy Vault. So all the inflation that's coming out in 10 days is going to go and use to buy and burn the token, right? So it's kind of at the moment, it's a deflationary token auction system, full token distribution in 10 days. The Vault ensures perpetual auctions with deflationary tokenomics. So that buying and burn power is going to end up buying tokens off the market, its own token off the market, and put it into the secondary auction, right, which starts on the 11th, what they call the perpetual auctions. So it's kind of the 2 phases there. First 10 days, get all the tokens out, get the TitanX in, go burn the Vault stuff, 84% of the value, and then of course 50% of that pretty much going into the second phase, which is the 11 days onwards. See, so stage one, there's going to be 100 million vault tokens auctioned every day for 10 days. So that's 1 billion tokens. So we're going to have 1 billion tokens there. So you can see the max supply, 1 billion tokens. What's going to be just over that, 1 billion and 55 million. But 50 million is going to be used for the liquidity wallet to be paired with protocols built on TitanX. So that's going to be pretty important later on. And of course, stage 2, day 11 onwards, all auction vault tokens come from the vault. So basically, when the TitanX goes in, it's going to issue the vault tokens. People are going to get the vault tokens. But then, of course, the buy and burn with the TitanX is going to go and burn those tokens. Some of those, so it's going to burn 50%. Some of the other 50% is going to go into the second stage, right, and then get auctioned off again. And then you're going to have this arbitrage between the market price and the perpetual auctions on day 11 afterwards. So hopefully that kind of explains that. TitanX burn, 4% sent to the DragonX vault. So this is another project that we see Hydra in the first half of September is going to be benefiting DragonX by burning DragonX. We've also got the vault in the second half of September, also going to be building up the DragonX and burning that as well, because 4% of the TitanX burn is going to the DragonX vault there. So it's pretty awesome. Liquidity bonding, 4%, buying 7 TitanX protocols in the vault wheel. So if you're wondering what that is, that's about sharing the love around multiple tokens. We hopefully will get a bit more details on that vault wheel as well. And then Genesis Wallet gets 8% there, they say. All right, so we've got the auctions coming up. That's going to be 24-hour auctions. First 10 days, 100 million vault tokens each for each daily auction. After the 10th day, the daily auction consists of 20% of all the vault tokens in the vault each day. So obviously with those buy and burns, some of the allocation is going to go to the second round, or phase 2, as we say. So key features, 84% of TitanX used to buy the vault, 50% of these tokens are burnt. So remember that stuff's going back in. 50% are sent to the vault. So that vault is going to be perpetual auction. That's day 11 on onwards, right? So obviously people will be climbing in to get the first 10 days to get the access to that 1 billion tokens. And then the TitanX is going to go back onto the market with the LP and buy vault, burn 50%, and with 84%, burn 50%, and then put the 50% in the vault for perpetual auctions in the future. Those auctions will be competing with price with the market value. And of course, the market value is going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. All right, so that's kind of the play there at the moment. Let's see here. So post 10 auction, start day 11, the vault becomes the only source of auction tokens. That's the play. So yeah, we're going to jump through all that. Daily auction, 20% of the tokens in the vault are available. So all that 50% of the 84% that goes into the vault, 20% of that's going to be auctioned every day. So presumably that would decrease over time with the amounts, so that might keep it competitive, right? Keep it competitive because there's less supply every day. Token entry, tokens into the vault when purchased via the vault's buy and burn mechanism. Recycling mechanism, 50% of tokens acquired from the liquidity pool through the buy and burn are sent to the vault. So how about that? That's pretty much it. So it's going to be a smaller auction every day after day 11 based on that logic. All right. Permanent supply decrease is probably the key thing. This process ensures a permanent reduction in the total supply of vault tokens, making the token deflationary, and that's the ultimate thing there. And of course, the daily buy and burn process reduces the number of tokens, decreasing the overall supply available for future auctions. So you've got all these fundamentals with that deflationary mechanism there. The vault itself, the vault game, the deflationary auction, the vault allows the vault token to be deflationary by sustaining the auction system. Arbitrage incentives, the auction system encourages the arbitrage between the auction and the liquidity pool, as 84% of the value is directed to buy and burn mechanism. That's the play there. So the buy and burn feed, I'm not going to go through all these details, but 50% from the 84, 50% is going to be burning the token, and 50% is going to go to the vault, as we said. This is the daily allocation for the initial token distribution, day 1 to 10, and then a good day 11 onwards, 20% of the buy and burn balance is utilized each day. Daily balance is divided into 96 parts, released every 15 minutes. Used portions will accumulate. Some of this is Blaze and Inferno protocols, and so on. So that's kind of the play there. And finally, the LP pool as well. It's going to start off with $5,000. As soon as it comes into the auctions on day 1, it's going to be paired with 5 million vault tokens. And of course, that's that's at 1 billion and 55 million. So that totals up. This creates a starting price of 1/10 of a penny. So it's going to be the starting price for Vault. The main LP pair will be Vault TitanX. Vault will be gradually liquidity bonded to all protocols in the Vault wheel, right? So it will be liquidity will bonded to all of the projects in the Vault wheel. We know there's going to be 7 of those, right? So that is phase 1. Phase 2 is going to be the Vault wheel. So phase 1 is Vault. Phase 2 is Vault wheel. And of course, you can see that's going to include across all 7 TitanX protocols, right? And what are those? Okay, there are DragonX, Helios, Flux, Hydra, Hyper, Blaze, and Inferno. and they've already got Hydra in there, and they've already got Flux in there. So there we go. Those are two that are launching probably in September, is my guess. So that's kind of cool, and they're going to have a lot of details. Now, we want to find out more details about how this works, but basically the Vault Wheel concept is down here. The system isn't just the flywheel, it's the Vault Wheel. Unlike typical mechanisms, the Vault Wheel is pure 100% burn on all 7 TitanX protocols. No value is diverted to Genesis. Instead, everything is poured directly into the burn. The Vault technology will be deployed across 7 TitanX protocols. Each Vault will burn the associated protocol token and transfer value between protocols, thereby lifting each other up in the process. So that's kind of the play there on that one. So a little bit of hit there. So huge coming in from the Vault. And if they deliver all that, obviously, then it's going to help the whole ecosystem pretty mad there. So Hydra coming in for DragonX, Vault coming in for DragonX. Both of them are going to demand TitanX to go in them. So both of them putting demand on TitanX. And, of course, burning mechanisms there for TitanX and DragonX. And, of course, their own tokens, Hydra and Vault. And then we've also got Flux coming in the line there as well. So we might talk about that again tomorrow also. So that's kind of a wrap up there of Vault. Just wanted to start highlighting some of these new protocols. And, of course, like I say, there's probably 4 or 5 that are not even on the list at the moment. Pretty awesome. All right, I think that's our wrap up on our third topic for the day. We're up to an hour and 10 minutes, so we're having a long live stream today. But our final topic is going to be Zen. Because we've got some info on Zen. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy that. Let's see here. Let's scroll back up here. We got Priority 1 says the Vault will now be on 7 different protocols, calling it the Vault Wheel. Nice. Damn, you informed the stream covers literally everything. Good job. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wookie says, oh yeah, Wookie is over 420 years old. I think he is. He's from another galaxy. That's probably why. You can play the vid on the way out of the show, Sippy. Yeah, I will play the Vault vid on at the end of the live stream. How about that? It's a couple of minutes long. It's from the developer of Vault. So hope you guys enjoyed that when we get there. But let's get into the final topic, and that will be Zen. Let's do it. Right. Actually, let's go here. So this is Zen, right? We're on Zen.network. This is the Zen. This is the Zen universe. And basically, it's on 13 chains, I think, including Bitcoin. We've got Ethereum, we've got BSC, Polygon, Avalanche, Ethereum, Proof of Work, Moonbeam, EVMOS, Phantom, Dodge Chain, OKX Chain, and Pulsechain, Optimism, Base, and it's on Bitcoin too. So it's pretty crazy in different form. But this is where we are at the moment. And of course, you can see the main chains. Well, obviously, Ethereum, there's 133 trillion in supply at the moment. Now, a lot of that is actually locked up in centralized exchanges on Ethereum. Ethereum supply is a little bit different from some of the others. But some of the other cool chains also doing pretty well. You know, we've got Base Chain. Base Chain had a different tokenomics for when it launched. We've got 89 trillion over there at the moment. And, of course, we've also got Pulsechain. Obviously, will be probably one of the popular chains as well at 452 trillion liquid at the moment on the old Pulsechain. So Pulsechain's got tons of stuff coming out there. But the price is pretty cheap, right? So there could be a big opportunity to pick up, PZN on Pulsechain because it's kind of cheap and it's likely to be one of the most likely charts to have a big pump. So there are opportunities amongst all these different chains. You just got to assess them, right? And when the market's down at the bottom and you know that X1 is getting pretty close, it's got to be exciting for that. So that there is on Zen.network. This is the official website for Zen. So if you guys aren't familiar with it. Now, people have been mining yesterday. The gas prices got so cheap yesterday, and that's the official Zen site there. And you can mine a Zen there at the moment. So when the gas price is yesterday it was like half a guay, that's as cheap as it gets. And people were mining 128 wallets for like $30 or something, $32. I mean, it's crazy. And that's all pushed out into the future. I think max days like 456 days or something like that. But a lot of opportunity in that in the future if you believe in X1 and you believe in Zen, being able to burn for Zen. Now, they're trying to do some of the tokenomics, so we're going to talk about that now. Sandy says, thank you, Hex Token. Have a good night, everybody. You too, Sandy. And Davos says there, cool to see Jack Levin show up at the last spaces. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. That's the play. So this is Zen. This is people mining Zen. Now, obviously, Zen's going to be one of the main things to hopefully, assuming the tokenomics is the same, be able to burn this for XN coins. So XN coin is going to be the official coin for X1. So unless Jack has changed that, then that is what we're expecting. Now, originally, it was going to be Zen being burned for about 300 million coins as part of the allocation. There's only going to be 1 billion coins based on the last information we had from X1. So 300 million was going to go to Zen burning. There were going to be these Zen parties, right, where people got credits and they were able to participate in every auction and, of course, be able to bid for XN coins through that with the Zen. That was kind of the idea. So we'll see if that's the same when it does come out. So that's kind of the big bullishness for Zen, even though the Zen chart's at pretty much near all-time lows for the Ethereum. That's kind of what we're expecting at the moment. So Zen could be a really big pickup at the moment. Now, the other thing that's going on with Zen, which is pretty big, is Zen blocks. So Zen blocks is the proof of work, proof of stake for Zen blocks. Now, we're going to come to the leaderboard, but we're going to have a quick look at the chart just so that you know how this works. So this is kind of the proof of work, proof of stake mechanism. And, of course, Zenium is going to be critical. So you can pre-mine Zenium. And of course, we talked about Zen being different for potentially a burn party allocation to XN. Well, Zenium is going to be another way to get XN coin. So XN coin, remember, is going to be the X1 chain. XN is the reward token for mining Zen blocks. So you can basically get miners. Now, I've got a video on that, how to mine that. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to post this Explorer in the chat if you guys want to start to do mining. Yet now, there's a good reason why you could start, and I'll let you know that in a minute, just in case you weren't aware. So that is Explorer.zen blocks at the moment. And that is the Explorer for the leaderboard. So at the moment, you can see the future supply of Zenium. It's going to be going down. So at the moment, see this is this line here. This is number 10 on here. So 10, 8, 6. Well, this green line is mapped to that right-hand side vertical axis, right? Which says block reward multiplier. So at the moment, you can get 10 Zenium per regular block that you mine with your computer. Now, you don't have to do it with your computer. You can use a cloud server with the template. I'm going to show you how to do that in the video, but then it's going to go down. So on the 16th, it's going to go down of September. So every year it has a halving, and you can see the halving happening here is coming up in only on the 16th of September. So that's only 14 days away, something like that is coming up. So 14 days, about 2 weeks, this is going to halve. So at the moment, people are getting 10 Zenium per regular block that they mine on their computers or use a cloud server, which is what a lot of people do. It's going to go down to 5. So 5. And then the following year, year 3, it's going to go down to about 2.5. Down to about 3. About 3 there on the third year. So that's going to be pretty crazy. Now, at the moment, the Zenium supply, you can see the Zenium supply is white. So 50% of the Zenium supply is being mined out in the first year. And the first year's only got about 14 days to go. And then another 25% in year 2. And you can see that by year 3 and 4, most of the supply is out in Zenium, right? Now, what can you do with Zenium? You're going to be able to stake it on the X1 chain. What's it going to get you? It's going to earn XN coin, which is relatively scarce, right? It's only going to be 1 billion tokens for the main coin. It's going to be a main fee coin for X1. So it's a big deal. Now, what's X1 going to have? X1's going to have all the best technology out there. It's going to be a fork of Solana. It's going to have all the best technology out there, but potentially heaps of different features, maybe block rewards for teams and things like that. It's going to have IGN layer, so people are going to be able to bring tokens in from other chains and stake them there for XN as well and stuff like that. It's got so much packed into it. It's going to be something like 100 transactions per second at the moment. That's on the currently test nets. It's going to have all that tech. It's going to have all the best DeFi stuff and built into it, self-funding for teams and things like that based on the success of their projects, could get paid within block reward and things like that. So if all that stuff has stayed the same based on what we've heard in the past, it's going to be a mega chain, and also the first fork of Solana and its upgraded version of Solana. It's going to be potentially a big attraction. Of course, Zen has been mining all these different chains. Everybody knows about Zen. The centralized exchanges know about it. All the people in crypto know about it. And of course, at the moment, this is a big deal. So this is one way to mine Zen at the moment, or XN coin. Now, not only do you mine Zenium when you're mining, but you also mine not just regular blocks, but you also mine. Just gotta remember what they are. You can mine super blocks. So a super block's about every 1 in 700, 1 in 800 blocks thereabouts is a super block. This is potentially going to be a multiplier, maybe a staking multiplier. A little bit uncertain on that, but that's kind of the only stuff we've seen so far. So that could be a really big deal. Some people make it equivalent to getting mining about $500 worth of mining power. So they are pretty rare. And of course, it's much more limited than Zenium. And of course, you also mine the XUni token. So XUni is going to be for the DEX, for the decentralized exchange on X1. So that's the other thing that's coming up. So you're actually mining potentially 3 different tokens in the X1 system. So you can see how powerful that is. So that's kind of the play at the moment. Now, if you want to learn how to do that, I've got a video on how to mine Zen blocks. So I'll post that in the link as well. So if you want to learn that, that's been on my channel for about a month or two, a couple of months maybe. So that is the play, and you can check that out, how to mine Zen blocks as well. Now you might have to type in that if you have a trouble with the template, hit me up on the comments because the template doesn't seem to be on the search bar there. But I think if you go back in there, you can join up to Vast AI. That's a cloud server, and it's all pretty easy to do, right? So if you watch the video, you can use that link in the video description there as well. And if you have trouble getting the template, because sometimes on the search, you can manually type it in or hit me up in Discord, and I can give you the link to that. That is a template you use on the cloud miner once you sign up, right? So that's pretty easy. All right, so that is that on that. So that's looking pretty cool. This is the halving. You can see there's another way of looking at it. So that chart is one way of looking at it. This table is another one, and you can see on the 16th of September, in about 14 days time, the block reward's going to go from 10 to 5. So you got to get in now. Got to get in the next 2 weeks, mine the hell out of it, and get the good rate. The cheaper the miner you get, of course, a good cheap miner, if you're going to go to Cloud AI, is to get one that's typically maybe under 35 cents, 40 cents. I think you're doing pretty well if you get a miner under that. And of course, in the video, I give a bit of a clues on what kind of miners to mine there. But you can always hit me up if you want extra help with that. I'm happy to help with that. If you have any questions about the type of miner or finding the template, if the template's hard to find, I do have it in the video. But if it's hard to find, let me know, and I can help you out with that. All right, either on X or on in the Discord or on YouTube, you can hit me up anywhere there, and I'll respond to that. All right, about 2 weeks though before the reward goes down half. It's just one way of pre-mining. Like I say, we don't know what the price will be when it launches. We know that Jack wants relatively low prices on the launch, but it may still be very profitable just to pre-mine anyway. Alternatively, you can not pre-mine and wait till the market launches and try and buy it on the market, right? That's your option. So pre-mining is kind of just maybe a safer way there to do it. All right, there are a lot of tokens being mined very early on. Just take that into note amongst the leaders. And we can go to the leaderboard by going up the top here and go to the leaderboard, and we can actually see who the leaders are. So at the moment, the block rate is 52 blocks a minute. So it's about 3,000 blocks coming out an hour. There are 488 miners at the moment. Now, obviously, it's holiday period, Sunday, Monday, Labor Day. But this typically might get up to somewhere between 550 and 750 miners. Obviously, the less miners, the better for you. So, weekends are quite good. The difficulty rate can move around a lot too, can go down to 50,000, can go up to 110,000. Typically, the lower, the better rate. So you can mine more blocks and have better outcomes that way. So that's kind of a few tips there. We can see the leaderboard at the moment. These are the top whales. 547,000 blocks. So they're very, very big, right? They've mined out a lot. So will they dump them on the market, or will they just stake them and earn XN coin? This is a question that we'll find out when the market launches. So I suggest a lot of them will probably just mine. If we scroll all the way down in the top 100 list here, there are 17,000 miners. So you'll start at 17,000 and you'll mine your way down, right? You'll mine your way down. You probably get to, if you spend maybe $300-400, you probably get down to, I don't know, rank 1,500 or 1,000, maybe 1,200, somewhere in that ballpark. Especially the cheaper your miner, the more effective. And you can run multiple miners at one time, and the more you do, the more blocks rewards you will earn, more X-Uni, more Xenium, and potentially more super blocks, right? Because there's 4 super blocks an hour approximately, so you're better chance of winning the more miners you got running at the moment. I've got about 6 miners running, so just take the account, and you can top up your account as you want. You want to put $10 down, $10 here, this mine today. You can decide when you're going to mine, all that sort of stuff. All right, so at the moment, I think we've got Crypto Bra. I think there's Crypto Bra's account here. He's one of the big influencers in Zen, and he's a big whale. I think he's number 6 here, 96. I think this is his account here. I have to double check the account, but he's one of these ones, and he's going to be enjoying that big time. Going to get this, put all that Xenium and stake it for XN coin. It is pretty cool. All right, so that is pretty much play there. Let's jump away there. That is that as well. And if you guys want to check out this halving, I'll post this on the link as well, just so you guys got all the assets. Isn't that cool? Doing all the work, so you guys can just save to your favorites and have fast track learning. Now, if you guys want to get even more alpha, you got to join our Discord into the strategy club. $35 a month, so super cheap, and you get tons of alpha. We're dropping intel in there all the time, not just myself, but members of the community in the strategy club drop in the alpha as well. So you get all the best stuff really early. It helps a lot when you're looking for some of the best returns. So that's Strategy Club, $35 a month. The link's in the video description. join up to the Discord today. Also includes the Pulsechain X Discord for free, which is pretty neat. You have a video on it. I do. All right, let's move on here. No Spoon says TitanX. Let's go. Absolutely. Crushing, isn't it? All right, so let's move on. We're going up to an hour and a half on this one. We're just about done though. So let's go over to Jack Levin himself, the founder of the X1, and of course potentially this could launch. This is my guess. Basically, he's talking. He says X1 technology is basically finished. He says, I know they've been working on the legal status of X1 versus the SEC, trying to get legalities right for the US. I know that they've also Jack's been going to Silicon Valley, talking to some of his friends over there, potentially getting some capital in there or whatever he's doing there. It could be potentially bullish. Maybe make potentially some big partnerships where X1 chain could be leveraged. So there could be some really cool things happening in that space. And of course, X1 technology pretty much, as I said, done. It's going to probably have the best of everything, the bells and whistles. Could be a super chain, and yeah, it could be really, really exciting where this goes when it finally gets launched, right? And until that launches, you know, Zen price is pretty cheap. That's another way of getting in on XN, and of course, that's just the way it goes. Now, he came into a space, a Twitter space or X space there for the TitanX hub on TitanX, and came in and said he loves Dragon, and he went to the Discord, Telegram, said he loved Dragon, so he's pretty bullish. But he came in and say he really loves what they're doing there. He may end up doing some development in the TitanX Dragon space as well, some crossover. He likes obviously the fair launch, and he also said that he gave an update on X1 chain, and basically saying the X1 chain technology is pretty much ready to go. What they're really working on at the moment is finalizing the tokenomics for the distribution. And like I say, for Zen, potentially for the XN and everything else. So all the airdrops, they've got lots of smaller tokens like vampire tokens on Bitcoin and things like that for their bridge. They're going to have a bridge there, Bitcoin bridge to EVM bridge. So there's lots of sort of stuff going on like that. Yeah, so they're trying to work out all those tokens and how to do a fair deal on all those chains that they've launched, right, that we just went through earlier, that where Zen is on. So they've got to try to make it really fair with that 1 billion allocation. So that's kind of where they're at the moment. So could we launch in Q4? I kind of feel like a lot of the Zen inflation will be out in September. We obviously got more Zen inflation in the future, but really the bulk of what we've seen so far is in September. Just like TitanX, a lot of the inflation is coming out in September. So October could be very bullish for the Zen price as well, particularly if the market turns into October and we start getting that rally for Bitcoin up to 100K. Things turn on pretty fast in crypto. You guys know that. Things can reverse the other way very, very fast. And of course, X1 would be a good time to launch in Q4 this year. So that's kind of where my assessment is at the moment. Obviously, that's based on all the information I just told you. And kind of a good guesstimate, I think, of where it might end up landing. I think if he waits too long, you don't want to miss the bull run, and you want to get in that first mover advantage. So that's kind of the play at the moment. So we'll see what he finally says. If we get any updates, we'll obviously post this in Strategy Club in our Discord. So kind of cool. Yeah, so he's posting a lot of the stuff out at the moment. Yeah, and of course, with the low gas prices at the moment, a lot of people, Zen and batch minting has been dominating the ETH on the Ethereum chain. You can see it. There's tons of the different wallets are all Zen, CoinTool Zen, Zen Crypto, all dominating the Zen there. So pretty crazy on these low grey days. Look at that, it keeps going. Look at that, 6 different accounts I think it is. Just minting out Zen, and it's dominating Ethereum. Just like TitanX is dominating the value, Zen is dominating the Zen minting, and so this is pretty hilarious, and claiming, of course. So that's kind of the cool thing there from Jack. So looking pretty good. It looks like X1 almost getting there. We're seeing some good stuff from ZenPub as well. ZenPub is a bit like Mike Dean and TitanX. ZenPub is the data guy for Zen, so Zen.pub. Yeah, last month the biggest Zen minting day was August the 31st. Users claiming 96,000 ranks. So still a lot of activity happening over there. Congrats to weekend Zen Minders who scored all-time low gas of 0.53 Gwei. Gwei is 20 times higher today. Obviously, it's come back now because we've got on Labor Day. But yeah, pretty cool mining there. Good opportunities when the Gwei is super low. You've got to have a bit of faith in the future. But there we go. Now, the other thing we haven't really talked about is Solana. So there's mining on Solana chain. That's obviously also ticking away there. I'm not really covering that. But that's another way of getting access into the X1 chain and XN coins with the Solana there. And of course, I think most of it was minted out. I think it's finishing in September, if I remember rightly. Not sure about that. A little bit out of the loop on that one. But that's the other key thing other than Zen blocks is Solana chain. and the mining there. It was only about 3 or 4 months of mining, so probably getting pretty close to being finished in September is my guess, maybe this month. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's have a look at some of these others. Scroll up here. It's been 23 months here. There's 1 hour ago. 23 months ago, roughly, since Zen ecosystem launched. If you were to guess how many people either use the Zen DeFi or were the Zen brand impact, so you've got a little poll out there. Reveal when the poll ends. How about that? So pretty cool on that one. What else we got going there? FTX to return 16 billion to creditors. That's going to be good. More money coming to crypto. It's kind of neat. We'd like to see those crypto pumps. What X users think Zen community size? So who is kind of the results? It's pretty big, right? So huge interest in Zen. Don't underestimate it, right? Even though the price is down, there is a lot of interest, including a lot of Asian interest, right? So I think that's what we're going to kick in when next one goes live too. Very, very cool. All right, so that is from Jack Levin. Jack Levin there. I'll post the link to his chart as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're at an hour and a half. I think that's a pretty good play. Let's see here. I think Davis has got some good comments here. Optimism Zen could be the best play. Yeah, definitely Optimism. Definitely a good play out there. Like I say, you're going to hunt the charts, hunt the different chains. We might actually do a show on that as well. I've got someone else that's sort of on top of those chains. We might get them on board as well to talk about it. All right. Hey, Davis, appreciate that. Some good comments today. Join the strategy club today. $35 a month. Great value. Multi-chain opportunities. We're really hunting down the best stuff. And so far, we've been crushing it on there. So a lot of people are making some mad gains in the strategy club. So join up today. That's all I can say. And if you want to follow Jack Levin, the founder of X1 Chain, Zen, and many other tokens, get in there on that one. Looking pretty bullish on Zen. Maybe the perfect time to buy Zen by the end of September if it hasn't already moved. So just remember that. Something to think about. All right. I think that's it. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch me again for tomorrow and enjoy it. So we covered crypto. We covered Pulsechain. We covered TitanX. We covered Zen. There's lots of cool stuff to get involved, and the market prices are cheap for a lot of the stuff, except for maybe TitanX. Still relatively cheap, obviously, to where it's going to go. But getting on a lot of those in DCA for the win. Look forward to the bull market, October. Let's go. All right, take care. Bye for now. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and I'll catch you on another one. Bye for now.